Good afternoon, Mark Sudduth, HurricaneTrack.com. Time for the Hurricane and Hurricane HD video blog for Wednesday, the 1st of August, 2012. Switch over to the graphics, show you the climatological perspective on things. Here's where we are, here's where we're going. Lots of activity to come, at least climatologically speaking. Most of the hurricane season in an average year is still ahead of us, as you well know. Looking at the points of origin for the first 10 days of August here. Eastern Pacific staying pretty busy, at least it should, climatologically speaking. Then we also open up the tropical Atlantic in what we call the main development region out here. Lots of development in and around the southeast United States over the last 100 years or so. Each of these dots represents the formation of a tropical cyclone for this 10-day time period over the last 100 years. Looking at conditions right now, Invest 99L, the topic of conversation across the hurricane blogosphere, if you will. Another little tropical wave curled up here. We'll have to watch that as it gets out of this fairly inhospitable environment and heads towards a more hospitable, try to say that, environment on the western side of the Atlantic Basin. Although this region through here is typically not favorable at any point during the hurricane season, if something hasn't developed by the time it reaches the Caribbean Sea, it usually does not in this zone until it gets over here. So we'll have to see if 99L follows suit there. Looking at a visible satellite shot, you can see that S shape to the low pressure area, almost called it a storm. It's getting on up there. The SHIPS initializes it, or at least the Hurricane Center put in an initial wind speed of 30 knots for this system, so it's almost a tropical depression, at least wind speed wise. Most of the computer model guidance is generally into the Caribbean Sea like this. There are a few models that take it north of the Greater Antilles, but a big cluster of the models right through here into the Caribbean Sea via the Lesser Antilles. In other words, they are going to be in the way first. Heat content starts to increase in the ocean ahead of 99L, so once it gets out of this region and gets closer to that warmer ocean heat content area, we should see an increase in shower and thunderstorm activity. Overall, the environment should improve. As long as upper level winds in this region are favorable, it could develop into a tropical storm, and some of the computer model intensity guidance suggesting that. I don't see much to suggest that it'll become a hurricane before reaching the Windward Islands or the Leeward Islands, though you never say never, right? Intensity prediction is the toughest aspect of tropical cyclone forecasting. Taking a look at the GFS, keep in mind this is just one of many computer models available. This is the GFS, the Global Forecast System, from this morning's run, the 12Z run, and this is valid just about now. And you can see the low pressure area right here. This is the east coast of the U.S. There's Florida and around Central America there. So here we are at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, so this would be 8 a.m. Thursday. Still fairly disorganized, the GFS not showing a closed low at this point. This is just one frame though, so it really doesn't matter. 48 hours out, the low pressure area is back, but we just don't see it that well organized. The GFS not depicting a lot of isobars wrapped in here. In other words, it doesn't look like a bullseye. You're not seeing that deep tropical storm or hurricane look to the model, which indicates to me that this should stay relatively weak, though it will bring an increase in squally weather to portions of the Lesser Antilles. Finally, by day 3, 72 hours out, so this will be valid on Saturday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern Time. A little bit better organized now in the Eastern Caribbean Sea. We're really going to have to watch it when it gets over to this region to see if it develops further. And this area typically favorable most of the hurricane season as long as upper level winds are not an issue. But for the next 72 hours or so, the next 3 days, folks here in the Lesser Antilles, you don't need to be getting ready for a hurricane, but be prepared for an increase in showers and thunderstorms, the occasional gusty winds as this tropical system moves through. Here's a close-up look at the Caribbean. This is the islands that I'm referring to. Lots of high ocean heat content out here. So if this system comes through on a path like this, for example, just as an example, it would have a lot of ocean heat content to work with. So we're going to have to watch this system very closely as it tracks through the Caribbean Sea over the next 5 to 7 days. So there you go. That is how the tropics look for the first day of August 2012. Wanted to let you know, HurricaneTrack.com has our own app available now, and it complements Hurricane and Hurricane HD, which I think has the best tracking map of any app I have seen. A wonderful interactive tracking map that you already have in Hurricane and Hurricane HD. Now, Hurricane Track, the app for iOS, is a set of tools mainly centered around landfall information. We have live weather data, webcams, video blogs, multitudes of video blogs during our field missions, some of which we will share with Hurricane and Hurricane HD, but the core of Hurricane Track for iOS will be the landfall information that we will be able to bring you, including the ability to track our vehicle as we move and a live webcam image coming from it, updating every minute. But the weather data, I'm telling you, that is going to be a fantastic tool to complement what you already have with your collection of weather apps, including, obviously, if you're watching this, Hurricane and Hurricane HD. So check out Hurricane Track, all one word. You know our logo, that nice round hurricane symbol with the red and white, almost looks like a nautical flag. Check it out in the App Store, Hurricane Track, a special price for a limited time, and we're looking forward to being able to put it to good use during a landfall. Unfortunately, we have to have a landfall in order to really put it to use, but it will complement what you have here with what I honestly believe is the best hurricane tracking tool out there with Hurricane and Hurricane HD. Kitty Code did a fantastic job with the tracking maps part, so check out Hurricane Track when you get a chance. All right, I'm Mark Studdoth for HurricaneTrack.com. Glad to contribute these video blogs to Hurricane and Hurricane HD. Always my pleasure to do so. I'll do it again tomorrow.